Suicide tourism is the act of traveling to a place where it is illegal to kill yourself and then killing yourself. It has never been legal here in Peru, but so many people threw themselves off of Puente Villena Eduardo Rey that the city had to put in polycarbonate panels on the edges to stop people from throwing themselves to their death. So many people threw themselves to their death that local legend holds that the street below is now haunted. But I have also heard that there is a vampire in Barranco, so who knows? Suicide generally holds hands with loneliness. Now, solitude might not be the reason a person wants to kill themselves. They might be overwhelmed and burnt out and exhausted. But if they had somebody to vent to, they would probably feel better. The friend might not be able to help you with whatever it is that is pushing you to the edge, but just being your friend, just being an ear for you to vent to might be enough to lighten your load. I have never been lonelier than I was in Arica, Chile. The woman I was dating, I discovered that she was a liar. So I left Lima and went to Puno. And I spent my first solo Christmas in Puno. But there was enough adventure in and around the town, the city, the village, that I mostly wasn't aware of how lonely I was. But then my visa was going to expire, and so I had to go south to Chile. And there, the silence of the boredom allowed me to finally hear the whispers of loneliness. And even if it wasn't my birthday, it would have still sucked. But I did spend my first solo birthday there. That was very rough. I could say that I felt lonelier in Mexico, right after I'd cut the relationship with my mother, right after I cut contact with her. And while I was extremely lonely, I was much more anxious. I was terrified that I suddenly didn't have a support net in case of an emergency, in case anything happened. And that anxiety overshadowed any loneliness I could have been feeling. I have not considered suicide since I overcame drug addiction. And no matter how scary my situation gets, I can always find hope or strength or direction in one of two mantras. The first being, this is going to make a hilarious story one day in hindsight. Or the second mantra, I can't wait to teach my kids whatever lesson I'm learning from this experience. The first option makes the scariness meaningless. It disarms whatever thing is happening prematurely, laughing at it. You can stare into the abyss all you want, but maybe giggling at it will put it in a good mood, or maybe it'll just put you in a good mood. The second option gives the suffering meaning. It doesn't invalidate the pain that you're going through, but it does maybe make it worthwhile. If somebody else can benefit from your then maybe it is worth it that you go through it. Regardless of whether you are suicidal now or not, or were not, or whatever, regardless, it is helpful to remember that everybody suffers differently. That some people suffer for longer, some people suffer more frequently, some people suffer more colorfully or more profoundly or with a higher resolution. Some people are so unlucky that they got the worst deal in all of those. But to compare your suffering to the suffering of others is futile. It accomplishes nothing and it leads nowhere. The energy that is wasted by comparing could be much better used to solve your suffering, to make the situation better, or to lighten the loads of others. Why complain that other people are better off when that energy and time, you could just make yourself better off? Similarly, comparing your abilities to the abilities of others, or your objectives or your goals or your desires to those of somebody else, is equally pointless. On the plane ride from Rio to Lima, I decided to stop comparing myself. I realized during that meditation, that if I feel bad about myself because I'm comparing myself to somebody else, it is somebody else's measurement. It is somebody else's criteria or measurement or metric or whatever that I am using. If I am jealous of some guy's accent, it's not the accent that I'm jealous of. I'm jealous of the women that are smiling at him because of his accent. And it is those women who choose to find that accent attractive. I don't find accents attractive. I have put effort into speaking neutrally and clearly and slow and a little bit slow. I'm the one who has to listen to my voice, so it's my opinion that matters. Similarly, it doesn't matter that he boxes a lot, kind of well. Do I value the ability to protect yourself and the people you care about? Yes, absolutely. Could he kick my ass right now? Probably. But my goal has been to financially establish myself. And when I am ready, when I decide that I am ready to return to martial arts, I will act accordingly. On the plane ride from Rio de Janeiro back to here, back to Lima, I journaled a very clear solution to the comparisons that had been plaguing me my whole life. If you think that you have inherent values, congratulations. That's fantastic. I'm happy you got that going on. But I must commit to an opposing philosophy. I don't have intrinsic value. My value is not axiomatic. I am not worthy of love just because I was born. For me to be worthy of the air that I breathe, I have to earn it. But the conditions that determine my worthiness, the measurements that say that I'm good, I'm the only person who can choose what those are. I'm the only person whose opinion of myself matters. Nobody had ever told me that they were proud of me before Sophia, and when she did, I cried a lot. But now I have chosen that my self-pride is infinitely more valuable. During that journal, I set myself a few goals. Start an English school, save up an emergency fund, pay off my credit card, rent an apartment. Starting the English school has been... But I am soon joining a networking organization to come into contact with new clients. So, I hope that works, but I only have a few $100s in my savings for now. But I did finally kill my credit card after however many years it has been. And I knew that I would have a very difficult time saving up without an apartment. And now, here I am, in an apartment. I've never had a home before. I lived with my mom because I had no other option. And then I was a homeless drug addict, and I was trading sexual favors for for couches to sleep on. And then, as a traveler, I hopped hostel to hostel to Airbnb to hostel to Airbnb, and now I have my own space. I can invalidate my accomplishment and self-pride by saying that it is not above average, that everybody has an apartment, which is true, that is true. But I don't care, because this achievement is important in my life, and I won't allow anyone else to determine my value, because the metrics that they use are pertinent for their lives, not for mine. Exactly how you can't judge yourself by the criteria set by others, you can't judge others by the criteria set for yourself. Their life is infinitely complex, more than you could ever understand. Exactly how they could never understand your life. You don't know what they're going through, and they don't know what you're going through. If you are thinking about killing yourself, talk to someone. Many suicide preventions say to think of your loved ones. Think of your friends or your family or anybody. But if you find yourself in the position that I found myself in, that there is nobody, then talk to yourself. Stop hating yourself just because you don't satisfy the criteria that other people set for themselves. Imagine a valuable person. Imagine the ideal human that you could never hope to be in your wildest dreams. And you can hate yourself all you want because you're not that person, but once you have a clearly defined goal, then you can start chasing it. Hold yourself to a high standard, but hold yourself to your own standard. I'm really hungry. Yeah.